Jeez.
So that goes to show I didn't mess up. Well,
now
I did.
I wonder how much battery we wasted.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Mixed
gosh.
Media episode 13. We're your hosts, live with Enrique.
Ariana Villalon.
And today's episode, we're talking about all things manga. This is actually take 2. We've been live 6 minutes on Streamlabs, but I did not go live on YouTube.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, this is gonna have to be cut a little bit short, but for technical reasons that I won't go too deep into. But let's get on with the show. And why don't you start us off on today's topic?
So yeah, we're gonna get into. We thought it would be good to jump into manga, which are essentially Japanese comic books, graphic novels, which are produced in Japan. And these are, I'm not too familiar with American graphic novels, but, we'll jump into that topic once Enrique, once we publish that.
Yes.
But these are typically printed out in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
You do have your color spreads, which are in, color in the name, which celebrate, anniversaries,
Yeah.
Either as the artist for the artist or in the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
And usually mangas are multiple volumes, a long storyline, sagas essentially. And the biggest difference is the way that you read it. When I got into it, it threw me off, so don't feel discouraged, but you do read from right to left.
This is true.
And any American
book,
any
yeah.
book in America, you
So
read
as I
from
was
left to
explaining
right.
before, I realized that we weren't live.
I know, he's like, ugh.
I was like, wait a
I didn't press
second.
the button.
I didn't press the button. But yeah, most books, the opening of the book is on the right-hand side, and you turn the pages to the left-hand side. But then with mangas, the opening of the book starts on the left-hand side, and then
From the back to the front.
Yeah, exactly. And then you flip the pages to the right-hand side, and the story proceeds that way. And I think it's beautiful. Yeah, we
So different.
in the show, before I pressed live, I was also talking about the first manga that I had read. And that I thoroughly enjoyed and
You really did.
I really did.
And I didn't think you were, but that's the beauty of it is like,
yeah.
you never know what you're going to get into. And yeah, you ended up loving Death Note.
Yeah, I love Death Note. That was my first one.
Very dark starting off your
it really
journey.
Was. It was, yeah, reading it, I was like taken back like a lot. And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. And, yeah, it was super strange because it's not like the American comic books, because I'm used to, Marvel, DC. I don't read a lot of DC comic books. The ones that I really do read are probably like the more recent storylines. I can't say I'm a true fan and say I've read like the older ones. I did read
so many.
Yeah, there's so many, but
So
I did
many
read
different
I did
stories.
always read older Marvel comics, because that's just how I started off. But yeah, this one was definitely like taken back because it was more like a darker story, and it wasn't in color. It was in black and white. And I was informed when loaned this book that it was all of the stories put into one book. So apparently the way it originated
All the
was numerous.
volumes.
Yeah, all the volumes were in numerous books, but this one that I particularly read, it was one whole book, and it was just amazing. I absolutely love it. I loved it so much that I convinced Ariana to read it, and she thought it was a good story, but it's something
wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's not your type.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of types, that's the next thing that I was going to get into. There are several types of manga.
There's different types of manga?
Yes, there is.
What? Get out of here.
I kind of fall into one mostly that I've noticed when I was reading through, because I wanted to look into it and not just give you information. But I did my research. But the most famous and one that I kind of that caters to my taste is shonen.
Oh. Okay.
And this literally means young boy, which is full of action, adventure, martial arts, and comic relief. Yeah. So that's one I with the list of different types of manga stories. I was like, yep, that's my type of manga because it includes Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach are just one of the most known stories out there. So I would say I probably fall into shonen would be my favorite type.
And I actually had no idea that was actually like a type. And that's super cool. Yeah. So then what would Death Note be? I'm not too sure.
Well, I'm only covering 3 just because I'm not too familiar. I definitely want to, after reading them, I definitely want to broaden my horizons because I mostly just fall into shonen. But it may be seinen, which is young men. And these are usually more violent and psychological stories.
Yeah, so I guess that's where it would probably fall.
It's a much darker genre.
True, yeah. If you guys haven't read Death Note, definitely go give it a read. I mean, that's my suggestion for tonight. I can't wait to hear Ariana's suggestion by the end of the episode. But yeah, I absolutely love, like, you, I'm pretty sure I said this before I hit live, but you had read the first volume of Bleach, and we watched the first episode. You read it to me though, because I wasn't really interested. And you're like, come on.
It wasn't. No, and the anime in the beginning, it's a bit hard to get into. Definitely, I preferred reading it than watching it. But as it developed, it gets better.
And I mean, I believe you.
Yeah, he didn't really want to jump into it, which is.
But you read it to me, and I absolutely love that. So, she really wants me to get into it.
It's such a beautiful story. I mean, I wasn't too happy with the ending, but hey, like, it was what saved me in school. Like, it would be my time to myself, and just like we said before, it takes you to a whole other place. It really did help me in my life, and I don't think people realize,
it could be an escape.
It's just like reading a book, but it has pictures. Like, I'm sorry, like, for me, and like it helps visually seeing the story come to life.
Exactly,
like,
and that's how I am, and that's why I was more always into comics. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been a couple of books that I've read. It's just, I don't know, I can't. There's a certain type of discipline that you need when it comes to like reading just like a full book like that. You need to dedicate time and effort to really sit down, and I feel like with a comic book that I used to read, or when I was reading that manga, like, I felt like the reading was effortless because I was so intrigued. Like, the imagery added to the dialogue, and then I was just like, I have to turn the next page.
So you see the words come to life, literally.
And the expression of these characters or what they're going through in their environment, and you're just like taken by the art and just the storyline. And to me, that was such a beautiful story. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I actually, when you read to me Bleach, I didn't mind it. I was just like, I can continue this. But we actually stopped reading it because you don't have all of the volumes in new. I mean, you have a few.
I have the second one. I think I have the second one.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Like, I have random numbers.
You really do.
But it just shows like how kind of embarrassed I was of purchasing these books, but now I regret not being able to have, like,
because now they're not printing them anymore.
Well, no, I think you could still buy them.
Well, right, but they're no longer producing, so they're going to be more expensive. Yeah, they're going online, and Marvel's doing that too. Marvel's I believe at one point Disney was just like, because they are in charge of Marvel Comics now.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, Disney, why are you going to ruin everything? But yeah, they're most likely going to get rid of physical comics. And that's understandable because you want to be green and, everything can be done online. But there's something just so nostalgic about like something physical. Yeah, and you brought some. Show ahead and show the peeps.
Oh.
Oops.
There you go.
Bleach.
Volume 1, we have Ichigo.
And
we have Rukia on the back. But yeah, this is beauty.
She said beauty on pages.
So you can see some of these.
That is beautiful.
So detailed. Like, not only are you writing an amazing story, but you're bringing it to life for me, and I appreciate that very much.
And that's awesome, and I can't wait for you to show the second one too. But yeah, continue. Yeah, let's hear more about these types. So it's shonen.
We got into shonen, which is more like your young boy likes adventure, funny,
martial arts. I think that's probably what I'd be into.
Yeah, and then you got shoujo, which is young girl, which is full of romance and friendship. I only know a few manga or anime. Sailor Moon,
I'm pretty sure that's a manga.
yes, and Fruits Basket,
I never heard of that one.
and Card Captor Sakura, I would say is shoujo. They're all full of romance, friendship. It's sweet.
Coming of age or some stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say
that's
so.
cute.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that type of manga, but
Mhm.
from time to time, it's a nice read to get into.
That's great. And when did I know you also did some research for this episode. When did it all originate, or when did because this originates in Japan, so when's the earliest one that was dated?
I think what did we see? It was the Edo period.
Okay.
So centuries ago, this
The
began.
1200s, 1300s.
Yeah, I would say back then.
Damn.
Yeah, and I actually would want to see if this is obtainable to view. Maybe not in a physical form, but I'm sure this online we'd be able to get examples of how it all started and how it looked.
Yeah.
It's probably completely different from
Bleach,
the
your
normal traditional layout.
your current layout. Yeah, and I'm super excited to sort of look further into it. Yeah, guys, we're definitely in the midst of still developing this show. The graphics, the marketing, the length of the show, because we definitely don't think 30 minutes is enough to cover, especially the episode for anime. There's so many.
Rushed it, yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit rushed, which makes me sad. But I definitely would love to extend these to an hour, because I feel
get in the groove of it.
Yeah, because I feel like it helps us sort of get further into depth into the conversation of mangas or anime or just art in general, because there's so much to, not only depict but analyze, even when it comes down to a simple painting. So imagine a whole book or a whole series,
or even a chapter to kind of start off.
Right, exactly. And I definitely don't think that we could cover it in 30 minutes. So we are, still working on how can we best produce this. We will have manga part 2 or anime part 20 where we continue to talk about it, because I feel even an hour may not be enough to sort of discuss a simple chapter or a volume of a manga that we both read, or an episode of whatever we read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we can simplify it, but I feel as artists ourselves, we do like to sort of get into depth when it comes to things that we're passionate about, whether it be comic books, mangas, animes, cartoons, paintings, arts of sorts. But yeah, why don't you tell us more about manga and what you learned?
No, and then the last one we already touched on it was seinen, which is more violent, psychological. And I bring this up because Enrique brought up a show that he wanted to start watching, which it would be Ghost in the Shell, would be under seinen.
But wait, I thought that was a woman. Oh, so it doesn't matter about the gender.
No. It's about the
type of manga.
the substance, the storyline.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And Enrique brought it to my attention that he wanted to start Ghost in the Shell, and
This is true.
briefly know bits and pieces, but I've never jumped into the story, so it's gonna be exciting to see us both kind of explore what this story has in store.
Yeah, for real.
Because I'm not really familiar with that Ghost in the Shell, so
yeah. And then the only reason why I heard of Ghost in the Shell is because it was Americanized. There was an American movie that came out and Scarlett Johansson was the lead, and that would create a controversy, but I never did any further research on that.
The art is beautiful though.
Yeah, and you know what? That's why sometimes I don't enjoy being on TikTok, because a lot of times when I'm on there, now I'm getting a lot of anime.
You're being exposed
to these animes and these scenes that are probably
lured in.
Right, and I'm just oh, dang. And then there's this one scene in Ghost in the Shell where she's on the top of a building, but then she just she jumps off and she's falling. I'm just oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful scene. But yeah, or sometimes I feel like there's spoilers on some animes, and I'm just like, yo, that's not cool. Why would you put that on the internet for, you know?
That's on you, boo.
True, because I should probably be on top of my anime game or manga game. But yeah, why don't you give us one of your faves or
Yeah,
one
I
of your
have
top reads?
a little list here. Sorry if
Ho-ho.
I butcher the names. I'm so sorry. But what you would call a manga artist is mangaka.
Mangaka.
I believe,
Mangaka.
yeah. And I have 4 right now that I'm totally obsessed with or currently all about. The first one is Cowboy Bebop, and that's Hajime Yatate. He created Cowboy Bebop. I do have, I think, all 3 volumes. I'm not sure how many were published for that, and I don't believe it follows the anime.
No, you
from
did
my
tell me that
knowledge.
it was completely different.
Completely separate.
Yeah.
And the creator of the anime is a different artist who also created, I believe, Samurai Champloo.
Oh, I love
Which
Samurai
Enrique,
Champloo.
that was, it was so beautiful from the music, from the art, from the, like, it's crazy how much a voice like adds on to the character, because the voices were like spot on, and sometimes they just throw off the whole thing, but everything about that show
spot on,
perfect.
right? Yeah, she said
It
perfect.
was perfect.
Yeah, and
it
I love.
flowed so well.
It saddens me that one of my favorite like animes happened to be like one season. You know, like it just
But
tears my
sometimes,
heart
you know,
apart.
Don't be greedy.
Don't be greedy. But yeah, I guess. But then there's like some animes that we did watch that I did like love. You know, continuing the story. For instance, Haikyuu.
Oh,
I know that one's completely different. That's like left-sided, and I just didn't like how emotional it was, or like
it's kind of cheesy.
Cheesy, like.
Personally,
I will, block as many as I can. I will serve you. And
but
I'm
you
just
know
like,
what? You gotta
so
understand, like, and you probably understand this better than me, but you were in sports. Like, you get passionate about that stuff. Like, come on.
Okay,
don't tell
that's
me.
true. Because when I got when
Tournaments against people who are just as good as you do want to win.
you want to win, yeah.
Come on.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I guess
it
is
was
a
a little
proper
cheesy though.
Yeah, it really was. And then what's his name? I forgot the main character's name already because it's been so long since I watched it. But he would constantly be crying, I'm like, get a grip. But yeah, so yeah, the artist. Oh, I know you're also into the gentleman that created Fairy Tale, or that created One Universe.
Let's rewind. The first story that I read from Hiro Mashima was actually Rave Master. Remember how I was telling you how he created Heroes, which includes Rave Master, which I first started off with. I watched the anime on Adult Swim or Toonami, whatever it was called, on Saturdays night. And then we have Fairy Tale, which is an anime that I'm currently just binging right now. I want to get into the manga, but he's also a fantastic manga artist. Another one, obviously, Tite Kubo, Bleach. Who also we recently watched Burn the Witch.
Oh my gosh,
so good.
Yo,
and
Burn
that's
the
why
Witch.
I told Enrique, like, you need to get into Bleach because it is probably just as good. I think they just released 3 episodes.
Yeah, it was just 3 episodes, and I was just like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, how y'all gonna leave me on a cliffhanger? I honestly don't think they're just gonna end it with 3 episodes and start a new season.
No, I think in the works. I think there's several factors as to what may pause projects.
But guys, I'm telling you, it is so.
That was so good. The characters, like
I love how it's like
the prince in like the clothing, like it was beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And not to mention, like, I love the character, and obviously you don't have much character development within just 3 episodes, but the introduction of each character, the
so
mystery,
clean.
yeah, that too. The art just alone was just magnificent. Like, just to see the amount of colors and the way they composed each like illustration, I'm just like, wow, this is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, what was that gentleman's name? He made Bleach as well.
Tight Kubo.
Tight Kubo.
Tight Kubo. Yeah.
Okay.
And another one, another famous one is One Piece. They refer to him as Oda, but
Oda.
it's Eiichiro Oda.
What?
Eiichiro Oda.
Eiichiro Oda.
Yeah.
Nice.
But they just refer to him as Oda.
Oda.
But I wanted to bring up where I used to read manga online, because I didn't have a job. I didn't have money to buy these books. You know, I obviously wanted to support the artists, but I did read manga online for free. I don't know if some of you guys know of Manga Stream. I was always on there. I was looking into it, and I guess they were up for nearly a decade until they, I think, either last year or a few years back, it was recent, that they just shut down the site due to wanting to promote legal content.
Oh, I mean,
I
yeah,
believe
that makes
the
sense.
manga
Yeah.
artists kind of, it was like
We're like,
legal
hey,
action.
yeah.
Which I completely understood, but that is
yeah,
where
support your artists, yo.
it really is. Like, come on, like there is nothing like just holding this, and it even smells good. Like,
Bruh.
this brings me back.
She just sniffed the dang book. What? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I used to go there all the time. It was set schedule.
Yes.
It was to the point where I was gonna go out and see if I could like help with the art, like cleaning. Like they did everything. They translated it. They needed translators to clean up the lines in the panels.
Get out of here.
But I never did.
You
I was a little
should've.
scared. I know. I was just nervous because I was like, I don't know what I could offer. But hey, you live and you learn. But yeah, that was the main site that I would to read online manga.
That would have been the perfect
that would
opportunity
right
for
now. I'm
you.
thinking
Like,
back. I'm like, dang.
You gotta live life with no regrets. No regrets.
But taking it back, because they don't sell these anymore. This is March 2004. This is Shonen Jump.
Dang. Hold on. Give me 1 second, folks. I apologize that this is backwards. Let me transform this quickly. Mirror. Flip horizontally. Go ahead.
Nice. March 2004. This is essentially I would say a manga magazine, and it carries several different stories. We can just go quickly and so you guys can see how old this is. We have Yu Yu Hakusho, which is an older Dragon Ball Z. We have Naruto.
Oh wait, hold on. It was numerous stories in just one.
Yeah.
What?
So
Get
this was
here.
definitely a subscription based. My brother got me into this. He was subscribed, but then he kind of fell off because life. And then I picked it up because I really did enjoy it because it was such a great way to expose yourself to different stories and kind of figure out what type of manga you like to read.
Yeah, that's
and it was
true.
super affordable. You have One Piece. You have which one is this one? Yu-Gi-Oh! Dang, they have Yu-Gi-Oh! In here. Oh, and Shaman King.
Yo, I used to watch
which is
Yu-Gi-Oh.
on the front cover.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have quite a few. I'm slowly bringing them to our apartment, just because like we live with other people, and
let me tell
not enough
you.
space.
So when we first started dating, I remember she brought me over to her parents, and I was just getting to know the family. And I remember one time, the girls, her nieces, went into this closet. I was like, "What's in this closet?" And I remember the smile on your face. I'll never forget. You're smiling with your mouth open from like ear to ear, cheek to cheek. You had the biggest. You're like, oh, you're like, wait, let me show you. And
it's my secret layer.
It was her secret layer. She went over and then she's like, okay, but don't judge me. And I was like, why would I judge you? I'm not gonna judge you. And she goes to show me, and guys, I'm telling you, it was like
stacks.
oh my! There's like 2 shelves, right? 2 shelves.
No, I think it's just one, but it spreads across.
It goes across so that like it's the closet walls, the back, and then you enter through the door.
Yeah.
And it was just all lined up and somewhere on top of each other. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, There's 2 shelves. I'm pretty sure there's 2 shelves.
Maybe you might be thinking of like because there's a shelf this way and then a shelf horizontal. But I don't.
Okay.
I don't think it's 2 shelves though.
Well, it doesn't matter, guys. When I'm telling you the amount of mangas that she had in that closet, I was astonished. I was completely blown away, and I was just like, "Holy moly!" And we had this discussion too when you had to quarantine at your parents for a bit. I was just like, "Yo, bring them all home." And I remember you telling me like,
"There's no room.
I can't." You're like,
there's way too much, and that's just the shonen jump. Sadly, I mean, like I said, there's nothing like holding a book, because I know it's digital now, like it's an app form, which is wonderful, you know, as long as you can support the artist legally. I say go for it. But if you can definitely get access to the book, like there's nothing like holding a book in your hand, you know. Exactly. But they do have a Shonen Jump app. I can't say what the exact name, but I'm pretty sure it falls around there. But I recently installed it. So I'm still trying to figure out how I can access it, because I don't think I've read a manga in a really long time. I've just been really into anime. But I definitely want to get back to it. And buying like multiple volumes of a story. It's just like that decision of, okay, which one am I going to be committed to? Because a lot of these run several volumes, like double digits, you know, like Dang. Naruto, One Piece, like that. It's gonna take you some time. And I just want to read everything, but it's like I need to start.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I was kind of intimidated with Death Note, and then he's just like, nah, dude. He's like, it's all in one. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, mangas are usually split up into different books.
They have different types of forms that you know, will cater to your reading.
Exactly. And then he's like, I know it looks thick, but I promise you, as you read it, you're gonna go by it quickly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I finished Death Note in less than a week.
Yeah, you were in that.
I really was. And it was just because it was so foreign to me. And at first I was shy and timid, so like the first day I only read like a few pages, but then the next day I was like, no, let me sit down and let me just read this, you know. And I went in. Like I remember on lunch I was reading it, a couple of my 15s I was reading it, you know, during work, and even at home I spent a couple of nights just flipping through those pages.
I mean, you get lost in the story, and I think that's the beautiful part of it. I would definitely say one that I would want to get into right now, just because I'm watching the anime, is Fairy Tail. Because it just reminds me so much of Rave Master. I know.
You do it. Wow. No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it more high pitched. Go. Wow. Yeah, that's more spot on. That's spot on.
Another one that I want to start reading, because I watched the anime, is usually the other way around. But I feel like we're on Funimation, we were on Crunchyroll. I have HBO Max, which has its own. Like,
sadly, I had to get rid of Crunchyroll.
I know,
because Bootang said we're spending too much money.
Well, now that they're merging together.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, actually, I don't have too much information,
yeah,
but
me neither.
we did read or I sent you an article. And it was actually one of the suggested. See if you can pull it up. But yeah, I remember reading this article, something along the lines where Funimation was going to purchase Crunchyroll.
Sony's $1.2 billion Crunchyroll
$1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Oh gosh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you heard that, don't tell them what happened. If they don't know what happened, they don't need to know what happened. Anywho, let's go back to what we were saying. Yeah, I think that's absolutely. Oh my god!
I think you made a car go off. The merge of Funimation and Crunchyroll.
And I think that's beautiful, because I feel like it's going to be an all-in-one
shop.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, we were talking about this the other day. I think I enjoyed Crunchyroll a little bit more because I am the type of person that likes or prefers to read webtoons over mangas.
Okay. And did they offer that?
Yeah, Crunchyroll offered animes or webtoons that were turned into animes, and I was like,
the God
what?
of High School?
Yeah, and I was just like astonished as to like, you know, the variety, and a lot of it I just was more so like intimidated because it was all subbed. And you introduced me to dubbed, and I know, like, watching anime, it's sort of like a no, you should watch it.
It's kind of looked down on, but give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, I watched Cowboy Bebop in English or in,
and that's how you introduced me to
dubbed,
it, was
yeah.
dubbed, and same with not Cowboy Bebop,
Samurai.
Samurai Champloo,
Mhm.
and
There's nothing. I do both.
Yeah, and you know what? There's
I
one
kinda dabble
that's
in
there's this anime that I recently started watching called Akudama Drive.
Oh yeah,
if you guys have the chance to watch that one, go watch it. I don't think it was your favorite. It was.
Did you see that battery?
No. Well, the live stream is coming to an end, anyways. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the very technical reason why the show can't go on a little bit longer than I wanted to, because as you guys can see on the screen, battery is running low. But anywho, yeah, where was I? Yeah, I watched that subbed, and I actually enjoyed that, and
you know what, you did bring a good point, is that we want to get we want to associate ourselves with the language, and why not? We're already with it's culture,
right?
And it's I'm definitely gonna try to watch it more in its language versus dubbed,
right? Because that's how it originated, and that's
exactly
how people would prefer you do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand why they do have dubbed, because there's obviously animes that you want to introduce to your child, and subtitles might be too much because they don't know how to read, and you just want them to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I know it's looked down on, but it is what it is. And yeah, ever since you read Bleach to me, and we've been watching more animes, we're actually finishing up Trigun. I definitely wanted to read read Cowboy Bebop's manga, and I was just like, this is probably a perfect opportunity to go ahead and start involving myself in that, because I've heavily indulged in webtoons. I've heavily indulged into comic books. Why not get into Shonen Jump or the other two that you had named?
Yeah, true.
There's so
those
much.
Are only 3,
right? There's so much
types
to offer, and I'm thankful for you every day that you've continued to expose me to new art that I would have never, thought of looking into.
Now we're planning on either visiting or moving to Japan, because it's just like we're both just in love with the culture, and why not live there for a few years.
We're weebs for sure.
No.
I ain't afraid to say it, baby. I'm a weeb. No, but yeah, I definitely love the culture, the food, the people, and I haven't been there personally, but to see the videos of people actually like go and visit, and there's a lot of photographers out there that inspire me as well, that I've seen just walk the streets, and to see people interact with the photographers, I'm just like, wow, people are so open, like, oh, hey, come take my picture, like, oh, you're taking pictures, like,
it's a whole other world.
Exactly. And I definitely would love to visit, and I know Japan is glorified, and there is another side where there's like people suffer from homelessness, and there's poverty, but that's going to come in any country that you go visit. There's always going to be poverty and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to introduce you guys in a little bit into the manga world.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't too much information. I'm
No,
glad we
hopefully
were.
took something from it, and let us know of any manga that you're currently into, or any ones that you want us to cover. We'll see, if we have
Yeah, and we'll definitely take the time to read the mangas, and then we can definitely do a couple episodes and review like a volume or just the chapters. Yeah, and my recommendation as far as mangas is Death Note, because that's the only one that I've read. But do you have any recommendations for anyone that wants to start reading mangas?
I would definitely say Cowboy Bebop. I think that was one of my first. Fooly Cooly was another one. I think my brother got me into that one. Bleach, Fairy Tail, One Piece, Naruto. Those are a little bit more longer.
All right, girl. I said one suggestion. You're naming way too many. Like one for people to start off.
Buso Rankin. I remember that.
Hey. Let's take it back, baby. Let's take it back. Give them one good book that is going to be easy for them to start off.
I definitely say Bleach.
Bleach?
Because that was technically my first one, I would say.
Really?
I think that was my first, saga. Because that one has so many volumes. Like, that one was one that I was committed to for a very long time. So, and I enjoyed it.
Is it one, Because I know people would say, you know, if you watch Naruto or like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so it since it's shonen, it's similar to Dragon Ball Z.
No, I meant like commitment wise, because you know people are like, oh, don't start off with this anime because it's a big commitment and it starts off slow.
It is a big commitment, because it's pretty much the same time frame as Naruto, or I mean, One Piece is still going on. So yeah, if you're looking to commit, I definitely say Bleach.
But what's a quick, easy read for beginners that want to get into mangas?
I think Cowboy Bebop only has
three
volumes, maybe. Yeah, I would say definitely Cowboy Bebop was a good read too.
So Cowboy Bebop or Bleach, ladies and gentlemen,
for long term.
For long term.
I mean, we're in a panty, so where do you gotta go?
Yeah, you got time. You got time. Well, thank you again for those of you who were able to join us on today's episode, number 3, where we talked about all things manga. And if you guys have any further questions, if you guys want us to review anything, let us know in the comments, guys. Let us know. I see y'all watching, so just chat us up. But we'll go ahead and see you guys next time where we talk about all things comic.
Dun, dun, dun.
I actually stole that from Variant. The
Variant?
comic. Yeah, remember the guy that I would show you that reviews like a bunch of comic books?
He's very in depth.
He really is. He goes like page by page, and I wouldn't mind doing that with you guys. But yeah, this next episode we're gonna be talking about comics,
American comic books.
And like I said, you can catch us between the times of 7:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday nights. But I hope you guys had a great holiday. And then I
go sliding in the snow if you're in the Chicago
Chicagoland area, yeah. And you know, I hope you guys have a great start to your new year, 2021. And would you like to say cheers?
Oh yeah, my cousin, shout out to Maria, got me this cute ornament. Merry Christmas. There's water in here.
It's wine.
Cheers.
Don't lie to it's
but
wine.
yeah, you can catch me at Las Alvarez. I'm Ariana Villalon.
And I am live with Enrique. Peace, YouTube. Yo.